All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Houston Rockets Daily. My name is Jackson. I post daily Rockets content, so hit that like button, hit that sub button if you guys enjoy it. So, another loss yesterday to the Clippers. That's not the point of this video, worrying about losses. It's more so Kevin Porter Jr., and it really makes me miss John Wall actually having, just your typical point guard, because I'm very curious to see what a lineup where Kevin Porter Jr. comes off of the bench would look like. So it's not like Kevin's doing a bad job on the season at all. Here are his statistics. He's averaging 19 points a night, which is awesome. About 5.8 rebounds, 5.6 assists, 1.4 steals. I'm going to take that. He's shooting 73% from the free throw line. That's an increase from last season. Now he's not shooting the ball well right now at all. So he's only shooting 40.9% from the field. He's only shooting 32.5% from downtown. But yesterday's game against the Clippers, here's his stat line. 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. He didn't make a three. Shot only 33% from the field. Shot 53% from the free throw line. Sorry. The thing is this. I don't think Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be our point guard. I am still willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because we don't have a point guard. Like we just, I'd rather have Kevin Porter Jr. be our point guard for the duration of the season than have Daishen Nix be the point guard, the starting point guard. My point is this, I've been watching a lot of film on the Golden State Warriors last season with Jordan Poole being the guy off of the bench, Andre Iguodala from the previous Warriors, Manu Ginobili from, the San Antonio Spurs. I don't think the sixth man role is appreciated enough because essentially what happens is their role is to get buckets. That is their role, to go get buckets. And what we keep seeing from Kevin Porter Jr. that we saw last season, and a lot of you guys were mentioning Kevin Porter Jr. is not a point guard. He's forcing it. It's just not going to work. That's starting to look a little bit more is the issue I'm having with Kevin is I don't see that even if he was improving as a point guard, which he is, I don't think it's winnable basketball. I don't really see it at the end of the games. And there are games where he's making his shots. He's making his threes. He's getting to the hole. He's, dunking on dudes. He's making his and ones. Or he's making his mid-rangers. That's all cool, but that's not sustainable basketball. In today's era, games are won by teams. And yes, crunch time, it is nice to have a go-getter, a bucket getter like we've seen Kevin Porter Jr. most specifically last season, have a couple buzzer beaters, have a couple game winners where that shot just falls. But there's also games like last night where there's no ball movement, there's nothing going on, and it's just, I saw it on Twitter, I forget who said it, but it's scoot ball. It's just him kind of, it's not like he's trying to, lose a game or anything like that, but he just kind of changes away from a team aspect. And I really saw it firsthand against Memphis when I went to it in October last month. But it was the second game of the season. So I'm like, we were competitive with Memphis all the way up, and you see this time and time again. We're competitive with these teams all the way up until like midway through the fourth quarter. Kevin Porter Jr. checks in. Jalen and Kevin get in the basketball game, and there's no ball movement. And unless the shots are falling, which when you're playing good defensive teams like the Clippers, they're gonna play good defense. So it's hard to get a bucket. There's no cutting. There's no picks being set. Maybe there's one pick being set by Şengün. He'll come up. Scoot won't brush him off. Nothing really happens of it. And just hold on the ball. Do a little dribble through the legs, chuck up a three. It looks like LeBron James. It's LeBron ball. And when we get into the playoffs, that's going to come back to bite. Like, you want a little bit of both worlds. I want mainly team orchestrated basketball, but at the same time, I also want a guy who can get me buckets. I just think that guy is more so Jalen Green, and we're seeing a lot of nice playmaking from Jalen Green. So it sucks because Ty, injuries, G League, he's 19, he's just not ready for a starting point guard role. And I'm still willing. I still want to give Kevin the keys to the point guard position for the duration of the season, just so we can get a gauge on it. But that bench role is severely, severely underrated. And that's one of the reasons I wanted Eric Gordon coming off of the bench or Josh Christopher coming off of the bench, is because you're literally, when you're getting subbed in 6 minutes into the first quarter and you're the sixth man and you're the bucket getter, first off, you can still play 30 to 34 minutes a night. You can still play 35 a night. You could play 28 a night. The coach could, play it by ear, depending on a whole multitude of different factors. Like we saw with Ginobili. Ginobili didn't start for the Spurs. He finished for the Spurs. Andre Iguodala didn't start for the Warriors. He finished for the Warriors. It's such an underrated, underutilized, or I should say underappreciated role on championship caliber teams that I think Kevin Porter Jr. is probably really poised for. I get people wanting to try out the 3 guards lineup, which I'm open to it, depending on who our point guard would be next season. I'm open to it, but I do think Kevin's game is more suited for the bench as far as it looks right now. Like, he's putting up 19 points. He can score buckets, giving me 4 turnovers a night. The offense is stagnant, and it's not just Kevin's fault. It really isn't just Kevin's fault. I was watching the Warriors last night. Anthony Lamb had another double-digit game. Anthony Lamb played like 6 games for Golden State. He's had a couple double digits. He's averaging just under 10 points. He's shooting like 56% from downtown, 60% from the field. The ball's just moving everywhere. It's moving everywhere. And so I'm watching that game, I'm thinking to myself, this is just so much better basketball, and Anthony Lamb is currently thriving in the system. So when you come off of the bench, you're either playing with extremely tired first stringers because they are just hustling for 6 straight minutes, or you're going up against non-starters. And I think both of those situations are where Kevin Porter Jr. can just have that basketball in his hands and do his damn thing. I think Jordan Poole has to stay on the bench for the Golden State Warriors. I think if Klay Thompson were to come off of the bench, it changes the whole dynamic. They literally won the championship last season with Poole coming off of the bench. That's what made it work to the magnitude it worked. Tyrese Maxey, I think Tyrese Maxey is a lot better poised for coming off of the bench. Obviously not when James Harden is out, but these are bucket getters. These are guys who can drop 30 on your head at any given game. So I think Kevin would still be putting up the same exact statistics, just more efficiently and more effectively coming off of the bench. But like I said, we don't have a point guard to come in and fill that role. I definitely don't want it to be Eric Gordon. I definitely don't want it to be Daishen Nix. Ty Washington Jr. isn't quite there yet. And I'm also not in a rush to get Kevin out of that point guard position, because as doggy as this is going to sound, it's helping us lose basketball games. Having a stagnant offense in the last 5 minutes against any basketball team we play, because it's always competitive. We're not really getting blown out. It's a competitive game all the way until the last half of the fourth quarter. It's helping us lose games. So, I don't want to lose games necessarily, but at this point in the season, it's just kind of the way it's going. So it sucks, but I have a strong inclination. If I had to make a prediction, if I had to overreact, I think Kevin Porter Jr. will eventually be moved to the bench next season, and I do think Stephen Silas will definitely be getting fired. But like I said, that's just an overreaction. So let me know what you guys are thinking. Let me know your thoughts on this video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I plan on making a Jalen Green video relatively soon, but this was I feel very strongly about this, and I used to feel a little bit differently. I used to think, let's give Kevin at least a whole season of point guard under his wing, which I still think we should do, and that's what we're doing. It's just, the writing's starting to get on the wall here. So let me know what you guys think. Peace.